What is going on, everyone? Sorry I didn't talk about this video yesterday if you're watching. Um, did I just say sorry I didn't talk about this video yesterday? Sorry I didn't talk about this game yesterday. I was a little tired after the game, I'm not gonna lie. But this game, I'm talking about the Mavericks and T-Wolves game one, by the way. If God, I am off to a terrible start today. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about the Mavericks T-Wolves game one today. The Mavericks go up 1-0 after taking game one in Minnesota, which was insane. That game was really fire. I am not gonna lie. Got some underwhelming performances from Minnesota, and you got a big step up by the man right behind me, Kyrie Irving. So shout out Kyrie, man. I know I've talked about it a little bit, but it is so cool to see Kyrie kind of have like this turnaround in his career. I mean, he was the unanimously the most toxic player in the NBA. Like literally no one wanted to sign him. It felt like every other day you watched like First Take or anything like that. They were just slandering Kyrie Irving and how toxic of an NBA player is. I'm not gonna lie, he appeared toxic as hell. Like I mean, like it seemed like no one wanted to play with this guy. And I mean, there were times in Brooklyn he would just like straight up leave the team. Like there was the in Brook, yeah, he would just like leave the team for like multiple games. It was like, what the hell is going on with this guy? But Kyrie Irving, he has found a home in Dallas and he is bought in. You can absolutely tell. That's y'all weren't hearing me, yeah, like pre-Dallas Kyrie, but I was like, if this man is committed, he is dangerous. But outside of that, he is dangerous to your team. But he is committed, so he is dangerous to the rest of the NBA. But yeah, let's hop right into this game one. Shout out Kyrie Irving, man. We'll start with the losers of this game, the Minnesota Timberwolves. I thought the Minnesota Timberwolves were going to win this series and win game one. It felt like they were going to win game one because I mean, like, although they never really pulled away, they were in the lead for like most of this game, it felt like. There were times where Dallas would take the lead, but then Minnesota would just snatch it right back. But that was the total opposite at the end of this game in the fourth. Dallas went on a big run and they went up. I mean, Minnesota came back with their run, but then Dallas snatched the lead right back. And Dallas kind of, once they took the lead, they kind of controlled this fourth quarter. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, let's start with Minnesota. We'll start with the best performance from the T-Wolves in this game. Jaden McDaniels. I don't know what's gotten in this guy, but as of recently, he has been money from the three. Like in the playoffs in general, he hasn't had good shooting games. But as of recently, like game seven against the Nuggets and game one against the Mavs, I mean, this dude's been shooting the lights out. Like, look, oh, his 3-point percentage is like 41%. I swear, I swear, this dude was shooting bad in the Nuggets series, like towards the beginning. Um, so let me just I swear, like this guy, he has turned it up from three. Yeah, let's look at this. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Game six and game seven. That's when he started to turn up. But like early in this Nuggets series, it's here we go. 25, 33, 0, 0, 0, 25, 0. Then we get a 50 in here. But yeah, outside of like outside of a 50% game in game two of the Phoenix series, up until that game six against Denver, he was like ice cold. So yeah, McDaniels has been turning it on from three. I mean, he's active on the defensive side too. Like he really did try his best against Luka, but Luka's just too good, man. I mean, I wouldn't want anyone else in this series guarding Luka if I were the T-Wolves other than Jaden McDaniels. So I would let him keep trying it. You could tell there were times that Luka was struggling, but I mean, when it was game time, Luka was in his bag. So I mean, let Jaden McDaniels keep guarding Luka. I think he'll get it. I think he'll get one or two off games from him in the series, and that's going to be tough, but I think they can get it from him. Gobert was just a guy out there, like didn't really add much of anything. I know he had two blocks, but I don't know. Gobert, he didn't really add much in this game. Only 7 rebounds. That's not a good number. I mean, for a guy his tall, that his height, his size. I mean, what's Gobert? 7'1", and he only grabbed 7 rebounds. That's pretty bad, man. Like, not good out of Gobert, especially out of. Then you get Karl Anthony closer. Um, but Cat was not good in this game. Like 6 for 20 is bad. 2 for 9 is bad. Like, yeah. Cat was not great at all in this game. There's nothing more you can really say. I mean, that's the kind of player Cat is. I mean, that's the reason he's not like an a perennial all-star, like a superstar, because he has off games like this. It's like he would be a fucking stud if he played like he did down the stretch in game 7. Um, but yeah, I mean, he would be a stud if he played like he did down in game 7, but he doesn't do that. He's inconsistent. And it's unfortunate because you can just see how talented this guy is, but he's just not consistent. Like, let's look at this. Yeah, game 7, Denver 23. I mean, like, granted, he's like the second option on the team, but like, look, he can put up big games. It's not like, and I mean, he had like 62 or whatever in the regular season. But he's just not consistent enough to be like a number 1 on the team. You know, Mike Conley. Mike Conley was not good this game either. Yeah, shooting 1 for 6 from three. I mean, he only had like 1 turnover, but he only had 3 assists, shot 2 for 7. That's just not a good Mike Conley, not a good T-Wolves game all around, and they somehow almost won it. Like, you get Anthony Edwards in here, another stinker from Anthony Edwards, man. Like, um, he, I mean, he's been a stud for the most part in this playoffs. Like, don't get it twisted. The dude has benefited more from this playoffs than like anything. Like, I mean, T-Wolves second conference finals ever. I mean, they wouldn't have been there without him. He had some big ass games in that second round, but not another bad game from Anthony Edwards. I mean, you could tell he was trying out there, but he was just getting gassed by guarding Kyrie, man. Like, it's tough task, but like he was not in his bag. I mean, he was trying. You can tell with the rebounds. I mean, like rebounds generally mean effort. So I mean, he was trying, but like he was just gassed from guarding Kyrie. I wouldn't be surprised if next game they have him guard someone like Derrick Jones Jr. or PJ Washington, just so they can get less. They has to burn less energy on the defensive side. Like that wouldn't surprise me. Have like Mike Conley guard Kyrie, but Kyrie might eat even more than he did in this game. Off the bench, and Kyle Anderson and Naz Reid were not bad, especially Naz Reid. I mean, like 5 for 9, 3 for 6. That's good. He was -11 though, so I mean, they did stink when he was in the lineup. But I mean, if you look at the stats outside of plus minus, he was pretty good in this game. Same with Kyle Anderson as well. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was not good at all as well. I mean, he shot 1 for 6. That's not good. I don't know. Nickeil Alexander-Walker hasn't been that good in the playoffs, I feel like. But he's got limited minutes, so it's like it is what it is, kind of. I mean, if you're Minnesota, the way you win is that Anthony Edwards needs to play better. Like, if you just had an okay Anthony Edwards game, like, I mean, if he scored 4 more points, they would have won. It's like you need a better Anthony Edwards in this playoff series if you're going to make the finals. But yeah, it's enough about Minnesota. Let's move on to Dallas. But okay, let's start. Let's switch it up here. Let's start with the bench. Okay. Tim Hardaway Jr. Another. Since when the hell does this guy not shoot the ball? Like Tim Hardaway Jr. has been terrible in the playoffs. And if I'm correct, this guy was a candidate for sixth man of the year at one point. Like, yeah, he averages 14.4 in the postseason, and in the postseason he's averaging like 5.1. Like Tim Hardaway Jr.'s been fucking trash in the postseason, dude. If I'm Dallas, like I'm seriously looking at trading this guy because he's given you almost nothing in this postseason. Like I don't think you've won a single game because of Tim Hardaway Jr. in this postseason. And like that's like your most explosive player off the bench in the regular season. You're getting nothing. Derek Lively, another solid game from him, though. I mean, 11 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds, 2 blocks. Derek Lively has been very impressive in this postseason, man. Like, and yeah, I mean, he hit his one free throw. Like, you can't complain about Derek Lively in this postseason. I think he's plus 19. Come on now. Those are damn good numbers. You look at those compared to Gafford, who's -50. Yeah, I feel like this has been a common theme here in these past few games that Daniel Gafford hasn't been great, but then Derek Lively comes in and they're just cooking. Like, I feel like Lively's been becoming a difference maker with this team. Josh Green, I mean, he hit a three. It's about it. I'm going to be honest. None of the other guys outside of Lively on the bench are really worth mentioning. It was just Lively. I mean, this dude is like one of the biggest difference makers in this postseason for Dallas, especially as of late. Like Daniel Gafford's had his good games in the playoffs, but recently it's been Lively. Like I don't think, especially like that game 6 against OKC, I don't think they win that without like Derek Lively. Like I mean, Lively's been in his bag. Let's be real here. Okay. moving on to the starters, we already talked about Daniel Gafford. I mean, you look at the stats outside of plus minus, he wasn't bad, but he was minus 15 while he was in. So like, I don't know. I think just Derek Lively's more aggressive. He just I don't know. Something about Derek Lively, man. Like he's more aggressive. He's just more feisty on the boards, I would say. I'm gonna be honest here. But yeah, Derek Jones Jr. I mean, he had 8 points. He kind of came back down to earth in this game. He was cooking the end of that Thunder Mavs series, like, but he kind of came back down to earth in this game. But I mean, he's a role player, so I mean, he's not going to cook every single night. PJ Washington hit a big three late in this game. I mean, PJ Washington, you know, when that ball is going up late, it's nothing but net because PJ Washington is like that in the postseason, man. He was honestly Dallas's like second best player in the fucking Thunder series. I mean, the dude's been in his bag this postseason. I know as of recently, um, he hasn't been as good, but the dude was cooking against the Thunder. Like, let's see. Yeah, 9 to 21, 27, 29. Like he had that 3 game stretch. He was cooking. Then you look at him against the Clips. I mean, he only had one game under 10 points. Yeah, I mean, it's been a fantastic postseason for PJ Washington so far. One of his worst games in the postseason, but still found a way to make an imprint on it. Like 2 blocks and then 7 rebounds as well. Like, I mean, PJ Washington's just a dog, man. Then we get to the 2 stars. Luka Doncic was really impressive tonight, or a few like last night he was really impressive. I got my days mixed up. 6 for 7 from the free throw line, 3 for 10 from three, but he hit some big shots late. There was especially I forget when it was, but I think it was that big Luka. It was like the 7-0 or 9-0 Luka run, whatever it was. Luka hit a big three to cause the Timberwolves to spend a timeout. And I mean, he's 12 for 26, so rather efficient as well. Yeah, Luka was in his bag tonight, 8 assists to 4 turnovers. You'd like to see less turnovers from Luka, but 8 assists is fantastic from Luka. So shout out Luka, man. He's been playing well in this postseason, especially with the injuries he's been going through as well. But Kyrie was the reason that they won this game, man. 30 points from Kyrie. Like, come on now. I know he didn't hit a three, but the dude was driving. Like, he was in his bag. Shot over 50%, perfect from the free throw line. 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 turnovers. I mean, Kyrie was locked in tonight, man. Like the dude's just great. I mean, he's just embodies greatness. He was in his bag. Yeah. I mean, that's really all I gotta say about this game. I mean, shout out to the Mavericks for winning this game. I didn't think they were gonna win it, but they were in their bag. Um, if I had to make a prediction for game 2, I'm going to say that Timberwolves strike back and take game 2 because I think it's just so hard to win 2 straight on the road. Like, yeah, that's my take. I think the T-Wolves bounce back in game 2. I think Ant's going to be better. I think they should honestly look to having Ant guard someone like Derek Jones Jr. or even like PJ Washington. Because, I mean, they're a big corner three guys. So, I mean, if you can just because then Ant will have to do less on defense, which will give him more offensive energy, which they need his offense because the Timberwolves are abysmal on offense without Ant, in my opinion. But yeah, that's all I got to say. I'm just a yapper who don't know ball. Peace.